Hello everyone, especially to the students of Standard 11, I once again welcome you to this class. We have been studying about political science, chapter number 1, Constitution, Why and How. Remember, in this chapter, we are particularly studying about the authority of a constitution. This is the topic that we have been discussing in few classes. The first things that we have seen, the mode of its promulgation, and the second thing that we have discussed under this, the substantive provision of a constitution, and the third today we are going to discuss about the balanced institutional design. So before we start the balanced institutional design, let us go back once again what we have discussed till now. Students, remember that when we have been studying about constitution, why and how, we have particularly asked a question that what makes a constitution powerful? From where does a constitution get its authority, and how does we can understand whether a constitution is a just constitution or not? To understand these things, we have been discussing about the 3 points, and that are the mode of its promulgation. When we see the mode of its promulgation, it will help us to understand whether a constitution is a powerful constitution, whether a constitution is just and acceptable by the people or not. So we have already discussed about that, the mode of its promulgation. Let me once again remind you that mode of promulgation means the way the constitution came to us, the people who provided the constitution. So when we have discussed that, we have already seen that the people, those who made the constitution, were just. The people, those who made the constitution, were good, and therefore what they have given us is good constitution, because they were just, and what they have made is not for their own benefit, but it is the benefit of the people. So they were a just people, they were a good people, and therefore what they have produced is a good constitution, and therefore it also helps us to understand the authority of a constitution, and the power of the constitution, and whether a constitution is just or not. The second thing that we have already discussed is the substantive provision of a constitution. The first thing we have discussed, the mode of promulgation, means the people, those who made the constitution, were good, and the second that when we see the substantive provision of a constitution, we can understand the constitution provides the good, the substantive provision for the people, and therefore it makes the constitution a good constitution, a just constitution, because the constitution provides us the substantive provision. Substantive provision means the provision for all the people of the society. It helps us to develop the people of the society. It helps us to develop all the communities of the society, all the religions of the country. So therefore, when we see the substantive provision, the constitution contains the provision for each and every people living in a country, and allows the people to develop. And therefore this substantive provision, these provisions for us which we have in the constitution, makes us to accept the constitution. When we see that we have a lot of good things in the constitution, we have many provisions for us, we have provisions for each and every religion, we have provision in the constitution for each and every community, therefore it makes the people happy, and therefore it is acceptable. People accept the constitution when people says that it's made by a good, it's made by a group of people, those who were trustworthy and good. And when people says that this constitution has a good provision, therefore people accept the constitution. So mode of promulgation and the substantive provision of a constitution makes a constitution to understand whether it is a just constitution and powerful or not. The third thing today we are going to discuss is the balanced institutional design. When we see the balanced institutional design, it also helps us to understand whether a constitution is a proper constitution, whether a constitution can be called as a just constitution or not. So let us discuss about the balanced institutional design. The first thing that comes to our mind is, what is a balanced institutional design? Students, when constitution makes the provision for everyone in the country, then remember if the constitution does not provide these provisions, these powers equally to all the people of the country, then there will be provisions, there will be problem. Provisions are there, powers are given to people, but these powers, if these provisions are only the occupied by only one group of people or few people, then what will happen? Others will start having problem. There may be strife, there may be conflict, there may be problems. Therefore, Constitution has designed it in a way that everyone gets equal provisions, everyone gets equal power. That is what the balanced institutional design. So first, when we ask a question, what is a balanced institutional design? That means a well-crafted constitution. A well-crafted constitution equally distributes power among all groups of society and among different organs of government and among independent statutory bodies, example election commission. So what is the balanced institutional design? Balanced institutional design, if we want to understand it, it is just in simple language we can say the constitution equally distributes the power among different group of the people and different organ of the body, organ of the government. So it is the equal distribution of power. That is we call the balanced institutional design. So here we see that it says that a well-crafted constitution equally distributes power among all groups of society, among the different organs of the government. So a well-crafted constitution, a good constitution, a just constitution always distributes the power equally. It satisfies all group of people by providing equal provision to everyone and by providing equal power to everyone. So here we see the constitution distributes the power equally. Remember in class 9 and 10 we have already discussed about the distribution of power between the different organ of the government. Remember we have studied about the vertical distribution of power, that is among the different the level of the government between the central government and state government, and also we have seen the horizontal distribution of power. In horizontal distribution of power we have also discussed that the power is equally distributed between the different three organs of the government, between the legislature, executive and judiciary. So this way the constitution has distributed the power. Why this equal distribution of power is needed? Why constitution distributes the power equally? That's the reason. So here we see the constitution distributes the power equally to different group of society, different people of the society, so that all the people of the society are satisfied and happy. The second, we see that the constitution equally distributes the power among the different organ of the government, that is horizontal distribution of power between the legislature, executive and judiciary. Equally power is distributed among these three organs. And not only that, the constitution also distributes the power to the statutory body or the independent bodies. Independent bodies means like election commission. So in this institution the power is equally distributed. Now why need of a balanced institutional design? Why this balance or equal distribution of power is needed? So it says that why need of a balanced institutions? Why need? The answer is so that no single group can subvert the constitution and no single institution acquires monopoly of power. Why this equal distribution of power among these institutions? Why the balanced institutional design? Because so that no single group can occupy all the power. Remember, or take the example, if suppose the prime minister occupies all the power, if prime minister or president holds all the power, what will happen? Because we have a balanced institutional design, we have different institutions and equal power to given to them. Therefore, when prime minister or president occupies the power, all the powers, what will happen? The legislature will question. The legislature will question or stop. Suppose the legislature holds all the power, then what will happen? The executives, the different executives, the second institution or second organ will question. Or suppose the executive holds all the power, then what will happen? The judiciary will stop, the judiciary will question, and therefore it is a this fragmentation of power among legislature, executive and the judiciary creates checks and balance. When this equal distribution of power is done among these three institutions or different institutions or in these three organs, what is happening? There creates a checks and balance system. Because equal power is given to this all the institutions, there is a checks and balance system. That means if one institution tries to hold all the power, as I told you, if suppose the Prime Minister wants to hold all the power, then there is a legislature to question it, to stop it. If suppose the legislature holds all the power, authority in their own hands, then what will happen? There is a judiciary to question, to stop it. So there is, because there is equal distribution of power to this different institution, there is a check and balance system. That means one institution checks the other, stops the other. So it is a checks and balance system is created, and when there is a checks and balance system, it creates a system of check and balance. Therefore, no single institution acquires monopoly of power. What happens? Because of this checks and balance system, because this equal distribution of power among different this institution, what is happening? No single institution can acquire the monopoly of power. No one can hold all the power. Therefore, it is very much important, this equal distribution of power among different institutions. Therefore, no one can hold all the power, and no one can do the monopoly, and therefore this is very much important. And we also see the flexibility and rigidity. Flexibility and rigidity means the constitution also is very flexible, in one way very flexible, another way it is very rigid. Flexible, so when we see there is a provision to make some changes, and there are some basic things of the constitution, basic principle of the constitution, like the fundamental rights that we have cannot be easily changed. That is rigidity. So these all things makes our constitution a just and a powerful constitution. So students, once again, let's go back to our class, the points that we have discussed. What makes a constitution a powerful constitution, or what brings the authority to a constitution? Three things we have discussed: the mode of its promulgation, the way it was made by a group of people, and those who were trustworthy, they did not make for their own benefits but for the benefit of the people. So therefore their work is acceptable because they were a good people, they were a just people. So therefore constitution they have given is a just constitution. The second thing we have seen, the constitution have the substantial provision for the people, the substantive provision for all the group of the people, country, all the society, all the religion, everyone. So there is a lot of provisions given by the constitution. Therefore a constitution is a just and acceptable. And thirdly, we have seen it gives the power equally to everyone. The power is equally distributed so that no one can have the monopoly of power. No one can occupy all the powers in their hands, because it is equally distributed. And therefore these all things makes a constitution a just constitution, a powerful constitution. So I hope you understood. Please keep watching these things. In the next class we will proceed to the next point. That's all for today. Thank you very much.